Hello, hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome to your evening messages with me, Michelle. I help you along your spiritual awakening and whatever you might be going through at this time. I try to guide you and just bring you whatever messages your angels and guides have brought you here to hear. I felt called to talk a little bit about stuff that men need to know about us women that maybe they weren't taught growing up, which I think there needs to be an entire class on understanding men and women in partnership, them by themselves, trying to understand what do they innately need to do in order to feel loved, in order to feel nurtured, in order to feel purposeful in life. So what we're going to talk about is the one thing that men need to know about women. So for starters, men have this innate desire to protect and to provide, right? So as women, we fall into that protection, meaning we need to feel safe. So on the reverse side of it, women need to feel safe. And that's where this video is going. So to quickly just jump right into it, because I know that I always dislike YouTube videos where they like drag you on and you're like, all right, what's the one thing? Come on, tell me. So the one thing that men need to know is that women innately, their baseline current state of being is always not feeling safe, which is mind-blowing, right? So if you had a room full of like 50 men and 50 women, and you asked them all to raise their hand if they've ever felt like they feared for their life. There was a situation where they feared for their life. Every single woman would raise their hand. There might be like, a few men that raise their hands and you're like, yeah, I remember this time where, I had this accident or, I don't know, they got hurt in some way or, there was some sort of mishap. So that's a unique situation that those men would be remembering, but every single woman over here has their hand up for a reason. Then you ask both crowds, have you feared for your life in the last year? Every woman, her hand goes up. Men, a few. Now you ask, have you feared for your life in the last month? Every woman is still having her hand up. And all of the guys, maybe there's one or two that had a situation where they feared for their life in the last month. So what this is saying and showing is that women, we feel unsafe all the time. This world is not a safe place for women, and men don't understand that. Not all men, but most men don't understand this. It is our baseline. We are in fear 24/7. Where men grow up and they're not these vulnerable, beautiful, soft beings that people prey on. So, and then you add to the mix, if you're a female and if you've been abused or if you've been sexually abused, physically abused, now your fear is like times 1,000, right? Because you've already experienced somebody violating you. Now you know that that's possible. And it's one thing that you already feared to begin with, being in a woman's body. And even just the looks from certain people can make us feel fearful. And I know I struggle with this immensely. And after my dad passed, it's like somebody pulled the carpet out from under me. Now, like my sense, even though my dad doesn't live with me and I'm not with him 24/7, that sense of there's a being out there in this world on earth who protects me and that I grew up and he protected me. Now that person's gone. So now my fear is like, whew, it's just here 24/7. So in partnerships, the reason why men need to know this about women is that, they might change their behavior after watching this video. They might start to say, oh my gosh, my woman lives in fear 24/7 and I had no idea. How can I show up and serve her? How can I protect her? So men, their innate desire is to provide and protect, right? Well, if they're wanting to protect, they need to know how, right? And if they don't know how, they might have an idea that they know how to protect their woman. Let me keep her safe in the house. Let me make sure, nothing happens to her. She's safe in the car. Let me walk on this side of the street if we're walking along. So I'll get hit by a car if a car runs off the side of the road, that that whole like chivalry response. But what if there's another way that you could make your woman feel safe, and she really, really needs it, but you don't know about it? So what has to happen is men need to open up this conversation with women saying, hey, babe, I just learned this. I learned that you might not even be aware that you live in fear 24/7. A lot of women have shoved the feelings underneath the rug, and they're like, I'm independent, I'm strong, I don't need anybody, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, you know? No, they're not. Usually those women really need it the most. And that's because they grew up without that safety. They grew up maybe without a dad, or they grew up with somebody abusing them. And now like they put up this wall, and they have this like strong masculine energy where they're like, you're not allowed into my life. I don't trust you. You're not gonna keep me safe, because I've been with people that didn't keep me safe. So a lot of women put up this wall, and it's really hard to break that down. But if you're a man and you're watching this right now and your mind is blown and you're like, oh my gosh, all the women that I've dated in the past, I've been flaky, I haven't been consistent, I haven't always asked them like, what can I do to make you feel safe, babe? Or, I mean, the biggest thing with safety for women is consistency, like always being there and showing up when you say you're going to show up, and trustworthiness. And that's, I mean, integrity, which is the same thing as trustworthiness, and consistency. So you can't be flaky. You can't be there 1 minute and then not there the next minute. You have to be, you have to follow your word. And if you don't know if you're going to be able to do something, then don't say it, and just be like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be there at this time, and I'm really going to try. That way you're kind of giving yourself this buffer. So what happens with a woman, with an inconsistent man who's maybe not super trustworthy, like they're just not following through on the things they say they're going to do around the house, they just can't rely on them. So what happens there is a woman closes herself off. She doesn't feel safe. She just can't do it. She can stay in the partnership, and she'll stay there, and she's there, and she's like still loving him and still living life and taking care of the kids. But deep down, there's a piece of her she will not open up. And this affects the sex part of the sexual drive of the woman, and also the partnership. So when a woman is not feeling safe, she will not open herself up sexually. She will fake orgasms. She will, she won't feel safe. She won't feel like she can trust you, that you're not going to manipulate her in some way or use her, or you guys know what it's like. It's just this feeling like, when a woman is not open, and some men might not, they might literally just be using her. But for men, when they show up in partnerships and, say they're going to couples therapy, right? The first thing that a man might say is, I'm just not getting any sex at home. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know if she's just not attracted to me anymore. Is she cheating on me? Is she doing whatever? Well, in reality, it's because he's not allowing her to feel safe in order for her to open up and want to be intimate. So when we, as women, are in this baseline of fear, right? 24/7, we're in fear. And now we're in a partnership with a man who we want him to protect us, but he's being inconsistent. He's not being trustworthy. He's all over the place. And he's not, this is the next tip I was just going to say, but he's not tuning into our needs. And if a man is not emotionally connected to his needs, he's not going to be able to tune into our needs. So that's another big red flag when you're dating is a man able to self-reflect? Is he able to express himself? Is he able to say, why did I just do that? Or verbalize, I'm sorry. If somebody's not saying sorry, that's a huge red flag. So for the men watching this, now you know that your women feel unsafe 24/7. Walking across the street, they feel unsafe. You might be going through your day not even realizing this. You don't feel unsafe crossing the street. You don't feel unsafe walking into a store. It's not even on your mind. But women, it is on our mind 24/7. And some women shove it under the rug and they don't deal with it. Other women are literally in that fear. So when you're walking beside your woman, put your arm around her, grab her hand, Start behaving from a space of, my woman is scared right now. What can I do? And this is 24/7. And if she is becoming, angry or resistant, or she's not happy in that moment, that's fear. She's fearing something happening and she's trying to control her life. And she might be bossing you around and telling you what to do because she's scared. So what you can do in those moments is sit with her and be like, listen, what can I do for you right now? What will make you feel better? How can I make you feel safe? And tuning into what her needs are. So I wrote down a few little things. If you want to screenshot, you can. But the first thing says attunement, right? It says feel into what your partner is feeling. You have to attune to their vibration, their energy. So in order for you to make somebody else feel safe, all you have to do is attune yourself to them and say, how are you feeling? What can I do to make you feel safe? How can I show up for you right now? How do you want to spend the next hour? Do you want to talk about work? Do you want to just not talk about work? How can I be of service to you right now? So you're attuning to your partner's needs. And this goes both ways. Once you attune yourself with your partner, right? You're being vulnerable, you're being open, you're saying, I'm here for you, I got you. What can I do for you? Now you're building this beautiful emotional connection. And guess what emotional connection breeds? Your sex life. Because a woman won't open herself up. I like to call it opening her flower, figuratively speaking. She will not open up her flower unless she has that emotional connection. And men, girls, don't beat your guys up for this, but of course a man is going to be going to therapy with their woman being like, I'm not getting any sex. Well, guess what? Physical touch is like 90% of men's love language. They need that physical intimacy, and that's where they get their emotional connectedness. So men feel emotionally connected through sex. Women have to feel the emotional connection first, and then she'll open up to physical intimacy. So for both partners, the way you can make your relationship feel so good and be in harmony and be in the flow is if each partner is offering that. So it starts with a woman feeling safe. Well, how does a woman feel safe? When a man is attuning to her and he is asking her what her needs are. Is there anything I can do to make you feel safe? Maybe asking, if you're at the start of a relationship, what are some things that I can do, babe, that would make you feel safe? And for me, I would always say, always just, I don't know, when you're out in public, have your hand on my lower back. Just grab my hand every once in a while. Just let me know that you're there and you're there to protect me. So offering up these little things. Another thing would be, doing things around the house, stuff that would I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe I'll ask the universe to help me with better examples, but I feel so out of the loop right now talking. I feel like my mind is so jumbled. So I don't know if anyone watching this right now, if you have a very busy mind, I am feeling you. But my mind just went crazy and I feel like I couldn't gather a thought. So deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. I feel like somebody's beating themselves up for not being there for their woman, and that's okay. You didn't know this. We weren't taught this. But you're here now learning this. And now that we know this, we can do better and we can show up for our partners and we can be consistent and we can express. So one of the things with consistency, and I'm so glad that I'm in the flow again. One of the things with consistency to build that emotional connection, to be in tune with your partner is, expressing if you're not feeling good. So if you're not capable of showing up for your partner to tune in, to say, how are you feeling? Because you're not in a good space and you're stressed about work, you're stressed about life, you need to show up to your partner and say, listen, I am not well right now and I need some space. I'm sorry, but I can't show up for you in the way that I want to. Please forgive me. Will you please just give me some space? When you show up to your partner and you express yourself like that, it is fucking hot. You are actually tapping into their emotional connection and you are turning them on. It is not weak. It is not It is not something you should shy away from. If you are a man and you are not tough at the moment, and you're not knowing how to like knowing where your life is going or knowing what's going on, that's okay. You're human. You know, we would love for you to provide and protect us, but if you need to figure some things out, of course, we will provide that space. But if I've had past partners who were flaky and who were not consistent, and they would just like ghost, and they would just, you know, not express themselves. And that's why I'm still single, is because I refuse to be with somebody who can't express themselves. I'm at a place in my life where I worked so hard to be able to tune in to what Michelle needs, that I want to attract a man who can tune into what he needs. And then he can also verbally say it and ask me for space and say, I need to set a boundary here, or, you know, this is too much for me, or this is perfect. So that verbalizing every aspect of the connection and every aspect of your connection with you, and being able to date somebody that has their own connection with themselves is huge, because if they don't know what they need, then how can they give you what you need? So if they don't even know what they need, let's listen to that again. I feel like I want to make sure I get that message right. If they don't know what they need, they can't give themselves what they need. How are they going to show up for you? And when somebody is doing that, they're abandoning themselves, and they are not attuning to what they need or what their partner needs. They're just like almost like abruptly like just giving and giving and giving, and they're not really grounded, and they're not stable, and they're not it's like they're doing it just to hang on, you know what I mean, just to check off a box or something to on their to-do list. Okay, this person won't be upset if I do this, check. When that's not life. Life is meant to be enjoyable. It's meant to be loving. It's meant to be intimate. You're supposed to have these deep conversations in the kitchen while you're cooking dinner with your partner. You're supposed to be saying like, oh, I had the worst day today. Can you hold some space for me so I can just complain for a little bit? And you just talk about it. But that's building that emotional connection. So when a man is saying that to the woman, like, I had the worst day today, and ladies, you need to listen to your man. You need to sit there and allow him to speak. You know, if a man is opening up, that is huge. A lot of men were taught and conditioned when we were kids at this age to not share and to not speak. And they're told their feelings aren't valid, and they're told like all of these things. So if you're in a partnership right now, if your man is sharing something as simple as a conversation with somebody at the gas station, you drop your phone, you look them in the eye, and you pay attention. You give them that nurturing look with your eyes. You like literally, you know, I was just going to say, like, act like you care, but you really do care. You're like, tell me everything. I want to hear it. Like, get it off your chest. I don't want you suffering. And you hold space. They call it holding space because you're not trying to solve their problem for them. You're just saying, is there anything I can do? I'm here for you. You know, let's shift our energy. Let's shift our thinking. You know, what do you think would work for you? And you just kind of bounce some ideas off of them. But that builds this emotional connection, right? And then now you're being support for them. And now they're really grateful that you were support for them, because they've never had anybody encourage them to talk and listen. And now it's like this magnet, and like now your passion is like on fire, because you both finally feel emotionally connected, because you're tuning in to that radio station. You're tuning into each other's needs. And it all happens through conversation. And then once we have that conversation, as a woman, when I see a man open up, that opens me up. That means I'm safe to be vulnerable too, because he was just vulnerable. And now we share that space. It still doesn't mean I feel safe yet. You know, it doesn't, because he's got to be consistent and he's got to be trustworthy. You know, a man that says, I will see you later, you better go see her later, because that's your word. And if you don't, then you text her and you say, I'm so sorry, babe, I got caught up, whatever, da, da, da. So if you're a man watching this and you're married and you're telling your wife that you're going to do something, you got to do it. The minute you don't do it, not to say this like in a weird way, but like, you're not going to have that physical intimacy later. She's not going to feel safe with you. She's going to say he's flaky and he never does anything he says he's going to do. And that it's just how a woman perceives, if she's living in fear 24/7 on her own, and now she's choosing to be with a man who's saying that he's going to protect and provide for her, and then he's consistently letting her down, well, of course, she's going to be like, oh, he's just like the rest of them. And you're going to have this discord in that partnership. So attuning to each other's needs, showing up for your woman, asking her, what can I do to make you feel safe? And guys, remember, we feel unsafe 24/7. We are sensitive, soft, beautiful beings, and we're out in this crazy world that anything could poke at us and hurt us and kill us and abuse us. That's how women feel walking on this earth. Please understand that. Please understand that for your daughters. Please understand that for your partners and for your mothers. We need your protection, especially right now with the way the world is. And the way we need your protection is your voice. We need you to come up to us and say, what can I do to make you feel safe here? Because I know that you need to be told, how you can help. You want to help us. So ladies, we have to give them the tools once they come and ask us, and it might be better, you might say like, hey, I don't feel safe here, and let them know, remind them, say, hey, I don't feel safe here. Can you just put your arm around me? Or can you just like stand closer to me, or whatever it is, just feel their presence with you. For me, I know that like since my awakening and since Reiki and practicing, and really like now that I'm such a sensitive, like for me, feeling safe is somebody's hand on my chest. It's like, even if they come up from behind me and hug me, like that is just safety for me. I just feel like they got me, they got my heart, I'm okay. It's just something for me about that chest. Maybe it's because the heart chakra is there. And I've never had a partner do it before. And I've always wanted it. And it's just, I just want to feel safe. I want a man to just hold me and let me know that I'm safe. Like I could even cry just talking about it, because we don't feel safe. The world is crazy. So divine masculines, you need to show up for your women, and you need to protect them, and show up for your daughters and ask them, like, did you feel safe today? Is there anything I can do to make you feel safe? Because I would give anything to have a hug from my dad again. And sending love to any girl out there who's watching this, who's also lost a dad or a brother or a male figure in your life who made you feel safe. And now that protection is gone. It's not easy, and you're not alone. And it's so important to find men in your life who are trustworthy and who are not just using you, and just, don't entertain that. Don't engage. If somebody's doing that to you, say goodbye. You do not hold on to that because you're scared of being alone. There are other ways to feel safe in this world. Do not stay in something that is unhealthy. Okay, sorry, moving through emotion. So attunement, emotional connection, which breeds safety, which is the single biggest priority in any relationship. If you're in a relationship between a man and a woman, or just any human, we all want to feel safe, but especially for women in our feminine energy, the biggest priority is safety. How can we help our women feel safe in partnerships? That is the one thing that men need to know, is they need to show up in every moment that they're with their partner, even if they're not with them, text them and ask them, check in on them, make sure they got home safe, make sure they drive safe, make sure, just think about it. Every part of their day, they're not feeling safe. And if you want to provide and protect them, that's how you can show up and allow them to feel that emotional connection with you. And when you show up and make them feel safe, they open up to you. And then you get your needs met by having that sexual intimacy, which is your emotional connection. So it's a win-win. It's like magnets when you do it. And then I have at the very bottom, it says your behavior would change if you started to realize that every single woman is fearful. And that even goes for like coworkers too. It doesn't have to be intimate partnerships. It could be just like some of your friends that are females. Start asking them if they feel safe in certain situations. How can I show up for you? You don't have to be a partner and be intimate to do that for somebody. And a lot of times for women, doing things for us, like acts of service, that makes us feel safe. Every time I'm like having like blocks in my throat chakra, it's a sign that I need to say this. So showing up and doing acts of service is a great way to allow a woman to feel safe. And when you're consistent and you keep doing it, now she really trusts you. Now she really wants to open up to you, even as a friendship. Now she knows that she can call you and she will trust you. If you say, no, I can't make it, that you're not lying, or yeah, I'll be there. She'll trust that you're going to show up. And if you don't show up, then that means something bad probably happened, because she trusts you so much. So it says, make her feel safe with him, allow her. Okay, here's another one. So this is what happens when you are not making your woman feel safe. You tell her that she's crazy. You tell her that her emotions are not valid. If she's coming to you with emotions and you say, oh my God, that wasn't that big of a deal, you're overreacting, you are totally not making her feel safe. Again, there goes the sexual intimacy out the window. It's all connected. So this is what a dream man would basically do for her girl. You ready? So when a woman is upset, when she has anger, when she has frustration, a real divine masculine who is grounded, who is stable, he's consistent, he's loving, he's patient, he's kind, he will sit there and be like, give it to me, babe. Get that fucking shit out. Cry it out. Yell at me. Give it to me. I can hold it for you. Let's go. Let's do this. Even if she's mad at you as the man, if you can stand there and say, give it to me, come on. You are nothing but safety in that moment. Now she feels like she can just completely open herself up, and you will not judge her emotions. You will not judge her rage. We're human. We all have this in our bodies. And as feminines, ladies, we have to do the same for our man and say, I got you. What can I do for you? I'm here for you. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I have no idea what it's like, but I am here for you. Please let me know what I can do for you. That is holding space for your partner. So men, please show up for your women, protect them, allow them to feel safe by building that emotional connection by saying, what can I do? What can I do for you? And if your woman can't verbalize what you can do, she has her own work to do. She needs to figure out her own needs. And that's not on you to do, because you've done your side, you've asked. And if she can't show up and give that to you, then that's on her. But a real man, a real sturdy, strong man will say, give me your rage. Scream at me. If you're mad about your sister, tell me about it. Just vent, get it all out. I won't judge you. Let's just see what comes up. And I got you. And as a man, you just stand there and you let her cry. You let her scream. You let her yell. And you say, I got you. I don't reject any part of you. I love every ounce of you, and I'm here for it. That is building emotional connection between two people, is when you allow somebody to completely be who they are. All right, I think I'm going to end it there. I'm going to end with one card from my new deck that I got from my friend Ashley. It's such a beautiful deck. It's a tarot deck, and it's all about like fairy tales, and it's almost like there's some cards from like Aladdin. There's some cards from some other cartoon movies. I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. I feel like my mind is really scattered tonight, and I'm not sure why. Interesting. We have the devil energy, which is a snake. It almost looks like the snake from Aladdin, like Jafar, when he turns into that big snake. So the devil energy is unhealthy addictions. And these could be your patterns in your partnership. You not showing up for your woman, you not being consistent, having this habit of, shutting down, or maybe your partner shuts you down. Your partner doesn't listen to you. And that's a toxic. So the devil represents toxicity. It's a toxic partnership. And you get to ask yourself right now, do you want to stay in that? If everything I've described here tonight has been making you think my partner would never do that, my partner would never do that, then you get to choose. You get to choose what you want to stay in. And this devil card is all about, do you want to stay in the fire? You know, do you just want to sit there and burn? Or do you want to break free and fly and be in the light and be in the, what's the word? Oh, be the phoenix rising from those ashes. You're letting that fire transform you and show you what's not working, and you're coming out like a phoenix. And then we have temperance. Interesting. This is a lot of healing. And I always see like her little foot. It looks like she's balancing a lot of things, but her foot is in the water, which represents healing and tapping into the healing energy. So as you're going through this fire, you're like, what is happening in my life? I need to change my life. I need to uproot myself. I don't like who I am. I don't like who my partner is. I don't like who I am with my partner. I'm needing all these changes in my life, which would be this card, all this toxicity. You're wanting to get rid of it. You're wanting to fly like a phoenix out of it. And this is, all right, once you do that, now it's time to heal. I'm just looking at what she has in her hand. She's got a bow and arrow, maraca. Is it maracas? I can't talk. Beads, which is in the symbol of the infinity sign, a flower, a bell. Let's do one more. I'm just gonna. Ace of Cups. Wow, a new beginning in love. Yep. So here's the trend. This is for somebody who is not happy in their partnership. There was toxicity, so they left it. Now they do their healing and they grow and they learn what they do want, and they're choosing differently. Now they know that they can have it all. I think that's what this means. They can have it all now. And it's a new beginning in love. Now they're having this new opportunity to practice everything that they've learned and no longer live in that toxicity. And now they finally have an emotional connection that they've been yearning for their whole life, because they're able to tune into their own emotions because they did their own healing. Now they know what they need to survive. And if it's a man or a woman, you know, it doesn't matter. But as a man, tuning into what you need so that you can show up and you can hold that space for your woman, and you can say, give it to me. I can handle it. If there's somebody in a partnership right now and your partner can't handle when you're upset, guess what? That means they don't know how to handle their own emotions. They don't ever cry. They don't ever release. They don't ever allow themselves to feel what they're feeling. They just constantly numb it. If you have a partner like that, they can't handle their emotions. So a lot of times it's hard for them to handle yours. And then sometimes there's situations where there's people like that, where they numb themselves, but they're great at showing up for you and they always hold space for you, but then they're not getting their needs met. And then they feel depleted, and then they start to get sick and they start to have ailments in their body because they're not feeling that emotional connection, and the physical intimacy is no longer there. So once this person leaves that toxicity, they do their healing, they realize, I can have it all. I can show up for my woman. I can finally feel like somebody appreciates me, and she can finally feel the safety that she's yearned for her whole life, literally, because as women, like 100% of our day, we're in fear. Whether your women are going to admit it or not, they are. Women are just innately in fear. Crossing the street, we fear it. I'm telling you. So men, please listen to this. The one thing that you need to know about women is that we live in fear 24/7, and we are yearning for your protection. And the way you can protect us is by making us feel safe through your actions, through your questions. What can I do to make you feel safe? Show me what to do. I want to show up for you. How can I make you feel safe? And you build and you tune into what her body is calling for. Now you're out and about, and she's already told you that she likes your hand around her when you're out and about. You know, you don't have to ask anymore. Now, you know, I have to tune into, all right, we're about to go somewhere new. Like, she doesn't feel safe. Let me put my arm around her. And you're just very cognitively aware of what her needs are. That's attunement. When you're doing that, when you put your arm around her, you're basically signaling, well, she's, you know, what you're going to get from doing that is you're going to get sexual intimacy. When you show up and make a woman feel safe, guaranteed she's going to want to be intimate with you. And then you get your needs met too. And that is balancing the masculine and the feminine energy. All right, I'm rambling. I feel like I should have ended this video like 10 minutes ago. I hope you all enjoyed this. I love bringing couples back together, and my lights just flickered. I love bringing couples back into love and maybe helping them leave toxicity to find healthy love. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And I learned all of this through Teal Swan. She is an amazing spiritual teacher, and she taught me all of this. So I just wanted to like give her credit for teaching me everything about the attunement and emotional connection and the safety. It is so powerful, and it can change your relationships. All right, lovies, have a good night, and hopefully I'll see you in my morning messages tomorrow. Peace out.